Hey everyone, happy Monday, and you guessed it, it is time once again for another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. Um, we got some merchandise going on here, so I will come back to that at the end of the video. I got a few pieces available. I'll put the link to the VCS store, Vintage Classic Specialist swag store, on the description below, and it's already linked on our website under merchandise. I don't remember. Anyway, you'll find it. I'll come back to that though. So why don't we talk about what happened first today? So pretty productive day here on the barn door, or the Barney as some people call barn doors, which is kind of cute. So Rafa finished up let's walk around and get a look at it and appreciate how nice this looks. Rafa finished up a handful of wires that needed to be finished up here under the dash. And so you can see everything there looking super neat and organized. And again, the addition of the flasher there, because we did add turn signals on here. I promise I will show you guys all this stuff in actually working here at some point. We don't have a battery in this car right now, but yeah, stay tuned for a later episode. I'll show you the turn signals, the way we put them in, this bitchin' accessory turn signal knob where the tip of it here flashes. Of course, we retained the semaphores because I don't know anything cooler than semaphores, so they're still there, kind of for added safety and added cool factor. The turn signals with the accessory switch and modified tail lights to blink. So yeah, lots of cool stuff going on here. And then these switches, this is going to be for a fog light. This is an accessory cigarette lighter. So yeah, wiring wrapped up here. And then pretty much Rafa moved his attention toward the back of the bus, and he installed the spring plates and the spring plate retainers. You can see them there. And he installed the shift rod and got it all connected up. And yeah, there was a bolt hole back inside here behind the spring plate where the lever shock mounts back in there, that there was a busted bolt in there. So Rafa spent a while taking care of that. You know, there's always stuff like that. These are old cars. The car didn't have any lever shocks on it when we got it. They weren't included with it, so we hunted some down, and now of course we're going to mount them, and boom, there's a broken bolt in one of the mounting holes. So always something like that coming up on these projects, but that's kind of what keeps them interesting. It's not just like a Lego set where you just stick stuff together. You know, you've got little challenges and problems that you have to solve and stuff like that. That's kind of what keeps things interesting, so to speak. So yeah, those are pretty much the main things that Rafa did on this today. I think we're almost ready to put the transmission in, I believe. And it, of course, is done. I think I showed it last week. It came. So this is how we have our transmissions done up. So they look amazing. So blasted the case, and then we clear coat them so they don't get all oxidized, and everything else is painted like a nice semi-gloss black, and just correct looking hardware, all the little details that we just love here. That's how we roll. So yeah, really pretty transmission. Split case transmissions are just gorgeous, and too bad no one will really see it when it's in the car, but we know it's there. And if somebody sticks their head under there, they're going to see that. And it looks as great as everything else on this bus, if we do say so ourselves. So yeah, we like that kind of thing. Anyhow, so that was pretty much the day in the life of the barn door here. So let's turn to what I did. I did work on the split window primarily today. I talked to the gentleman that's having us put this car together, and we're going to go ahead and get started on it. And Octavio had a bunch of boxes of parts for this car that were brought in with it. So I think the semaphores and a bunch of other stuff is in here. So I will probably start with the wiring on this car, and or the brakes, going through the brakes. And yeah, I'll probably start on that tomorrow. So maybe take a little bit of a break from the split window, because it's actually at a good point to take a break on, and dive in on this pup. So tomorrow's episode, look for me hopefully having made some progress on this one as far as the wiring. Anyway, on this guy here, pretty much I started the day with his shift coupling, which you can't see now because it's all covered up, but I did install a shift coupling that he provided, and then I was moving the shifter and kind of looking at the coupling as I was putting the safety wire on it, and the coupling just had too much motion in it. It seemed like it was just old and wore out. So I put a new shift coupling in there and then got it all safety wired and put the cover on it and stuff like that. So that's all buttoned up now. So that was kind of what I did first. And then there was still a few things with the wiring that I wanted to clean up. There was some extra wires on the grounds. Oh, look at that. I left the headlights on. Well, anyway, the headlights work. So there you go. And if you saw the thumbnail for today's video, you know that the headlights work, the semaphores work. I pretty much went and tested everything electrical on this car today. Let me actually turn those off at the moment. Yeah, so I tested everything electrical on this car today. And those of you that watch the show routinely know that this car had like a crap ton of extra wires on it. And there were like wires kind of running all over the place under the hood, and wires that were, you know, routed up there, but then not connected to anything. So I very carefully sort of went and figured out what those were and eliminated them and cleaned up the wiring. And then today, finally, I went ahead and hooked a battery up and started testing stuff out. And so, yeah, let's take a look here. So we got, as you saw already, there's the headlights. Work great. And let's see, another thing that, so those pretty much worked right away. One thing that didn't work right away, however, was his high beam light, which appears to maybe not be working again. Okay, well, his high beam light was working and now it's not. Okay, well, I'll go back in and check that out. But let's see, his rear dome light works, as you can see there. And again, they're kind of funny how dim they are. So that works with both the door switches. Let me shut that off with the door switch. So yeah, door switches work. And then the rotary knob here works. So turning it to the right activates the windshield wipers, and turning it to the left turns on the rear dome light, even if the doors are closed. That's how you would manually turn it on with the switch on the dash. So I guess you can't have a dome light on and run the windshield wipers at the same time, because it's the same switch, which I find kind of amusing. His horn works and is loud and sounds very vintage. Love it. And let's see what else. Yeah, I checked his brake lights. The brake lights I checked by shorting out the wire on the brake switch, because the brakes haven't been bled yet, therefore there's no brake pressure. And so I just basically shorted out those two wires, which is essentially what the switch does. And I checked that they're coming on. Both of those come on. And then I also checked the third brake light, which is the original brake light on these cars. Checked that wire, and then the license plate light I checked to make sure it's coming on. So even the things that I don't have on the car yet, I still checked them. So I checked the two idiot lights. I grounded those and made sure that the idiot lights on the dash came on. I made sure the coil wire was hot, etc. So yeah, everything I was able to check on this car now is working electrically. So that is, other than the little light for the high-low switch, that's kind of annoying. Not sure why that stopped working. It literally worked earlier last time I checked it, so go and see what's going on with that pup. But yeah, so that was the majority of my day on this one. His horn, I didn't mention, I switched the horn out first, so it had a 12-volt horn in. I put in the 6-volt horn, and then it had a wiring issue. On these older cars, there's actually like a brush that goes on the side of the steering column, which is what makes contact. And it wasn't like pushed in far enough or something kind of simple like that. When I started testing grounds and stuff like that, I found that it wasn't making ground and pushed it in a little further and got it to work. So pretty simple fix once I started tracing it out. But yeah, horn works now. And what else? Yeah, I think that's it for the electrical. Like I said, everything except that dumb high beam switch is working. So even this little accessory map light over there, that thing works and comes on. And yeah, so that is pretty much it for this guy for today. The Devil bus, I did go and get a new battery for it. One O'Reilly's told me the battery was no good. So I went to the other O'Reilly's that had the battery in stock. They tested it and they said, no, it actually is good. However, they were kind enough to swap it for me anyway. So regardless of whether that battery was bad or not, I do have a brand new one. So probably in the morning, I'm going to fire this thing up and take it for a spin. Hopefully it doesn't, murder me or anything in the meantime. Being the Devil bus, it is kind of evil like that. But yes, that is essentially it for today. Okay, let's spend a minute on the merchandise for those of you that are interested. So yeah, I had a few things made, a few things more coming. So an embroidered hat, which I'm pretty happy with how it came out with. They actually got the detail on the motor pretty good, considering it's embroidered and the text there. Pretty happy with that. I'm not much of a hat wearing guy. I don't think I have a weird shaped head or anything, but hats to me aren't really that comfortable. However, and this isn't really a sales pitch, this hat to me feels super comfortable. I would probably actually, I don't know what brand this is, the Classics. Okay. Anyway, this hat for a hat feels pretty comfortable to me. Again, I'm not a big fan of hats, and I don't know if I'll ever actually end up wearing this. However, for those of you that like hats and want to support the channel or have a bitchin' looking hat, these are available. The hoodie that I made, we have hoodies that we wear in the winter when it's cold, but they're a bit different. So the ones I had made originally, which were just for the shop and friends of the shop, so to speak, they just say Vintage Classic Specialist here. So on these, went ahead and had the logo with the 25 horse motor put here. And then on the back, similar to ours that we wear, is the logo. The difference is, again, on the ones that I had made for us at the shop a year or more ago, they say they have the website listed down here. So these are more plain in that they don't have the website or anything annoying on that. So just kind of like a clean, cool, image of the logo on the back. So all the shirts and stuff are pretty much the same. The logo big on the back and small on the front, like on the front pocket area. This is a t-shirt, so same deal, big logo on the back and smaller one in the pocket area. So the shirts are available in, let's see, I think white, black, couple shades of gray and navy. The sweatshirt, I think it's kind of available in some of the same colors. So there are color choices. There's, I think, small through 3XL on all these things. The other thing is somebody had requested that I make a tank top. So I went ahead and made a tank top because, again, I already have the artwork. So again, on the pocket area, there's the logo and then the bigger logo on the back. So if you're a tank top kind of guy or gal, we have tank tops. So yeah, I'll put the address for the merch shop in the description of the video. And then also if you go to our website, vcsresto.com, and go to the menu there, you'll see, again, it's kind of embarrassing, I don't remember what it's called. You'll see it. It's like merchandise or shopping or something like that. It's pretty self-explanatory. And if you click that, you'll see these things available. The coffee mug, so this is the first one that I had made. I'm really happy with, except the new one is 15 ounce. This is 11, which to me is too small. I need more coffee. And then I did a better job of centering the logo. So as soon as that one, that sample comes and I'm happy with it, then those will be available. And then I am working on some other artwork too with the same logo as far as the outer portion, but then on the inside, kind of a similar like line drawing, bit of a split window Beetle. And then I'm going to do one with an early bus, and then probably eventually like a oval window Beetle and then one with like a later model Beetle, and then one with maybe like a low light Carmen Ghia. So some different combinations of this basic logo, but then swap out what's in the middle here, since, you know, probably not everyone wants a 25 horsepower engine, you know, emblazed on their back. So we're going to make some variations of the logo itself and have those all available too, probably just in like the shirts and tank tops and stuff. Maybe not necessarily like the hat or stuff like that. I don't know. We'll see how popular those are. I can make them available in anything, but for starters, those other logos will probably just be on like maybe shirts initially, and kind of see what the reception of those is. But anyway, so that, I believe, is it for today, everyone. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening to me blab about my our merchandise here, if you made it this far. And we will see you again tomorrow. Thanks again. Bye.